Welcome to the heart and soul of Outdoors Radio. It's the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. In our 11th season, we continue to share facts and give advice on the great outdoors, where we never let the lack of facts come between us and a good story. Guys who are dedicated to helping you become a better outdoorsman. Your host, Gary McCoy, who's no stranger to the radio world or the outdoors, with a CMA to his credit for best personality. A well-accomplished outdoorsman who loves the thrill of taking a big buck or putting a bass in the live well. Mike Eccles, born and raised in Louisiana, who's fished and hunted his entire life and continues to chase ducks in the backwaters and pull bass off cypress trees. And the Boss Tournament Trail Director who runs the best team circuit in Louisiana. Steve Graff, raised in the woods and waterways of East Texas, a former Northwestern State two-sport athlete and tournament angler who continues to strive for big bass and winning stringers. And last but not least, Jay Watley, the brains and producer of the show who pushes all the right buttons, a man with unmatched talent who excels in making these guys look good and this show sound great. Now let's jump off the front deck and make the first cast with the boys who know it all, Gary, Steve, Mike, and Jay.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in, hooking up and tracking down 1130 The Tiger. It's Gary McCoy, the old mud hen Mike Eccles, the Ranger Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff.
That's me.
Is here. Man, it's raining.
Dude.
It's coming down. Eccles was describing the weather radar a little while ago. He said it looks like a 3-year-old has been coloring on it.
I've never seen a weather system that went from Canada above New York solid all the way down to 45 to Galveston. I've never seen one.
No breakups anywhere.
No.
Just a solid line all the way.
Yep.
Wow.
We're talking pair them up, Noah, one more time.
Yeah.
And it's going to really, really have some effect on fishing around here, especially for the coming weekend.
It's fixing to muddy everything up. But I will say this is also going to warm everything up.
Sure.
Because we're talking 7 straight days of 70-degree weather.
Yeah.
So
when
that's what we got coming up.
When I was coming into work this
60s
morning,
and 70s every day.
it was 74 degrees at 3 o'clock this morning.
I mean, Monday
It was 74 degrees at 3 o'clock this morning.
When I fished at Rayburn on Monday, it was 82 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, good gosh.
Yeah. Hey, this segment is brought to you by Steve Nichols, Bucks and Bulls Guides and Outfitters. It was so good to
Had
see him
supper
last
with
night.
him.
Yeah, we had supper with him last night.
Yeah, what are the odds?
Yeah. I mean,
He probably eats here all the time.
yeah.
I mean, he's our number one groupie. He follows us around.
That's true. That's true.
Despino, Jim South Tire, and Lake Fork guide Johnny Geis. Give him a call, or better yet, go to lakeforkbigfish.com to book the 2017 Lake Fork Guide of the Year, Johnny Geis.
Gary's having his appetizer again this morning.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're burping.
Hey, we got a great show lined up. We're kind of.
I call this show the Double D.
The Double D Show.
What's that?
Not the kind I'd like. Decoy dog.
Okay, I was going to say we were going to the dogs for this show.
Yeah.
Explain that.
There are some types of hunting that we're not associated with, not familiar with in our area, and they involve decoy dogs. One of them is decoy dogs for turkeys. Mm-hmm. And that's where people hunt fall hunts when the turkeys are bunched up. And people use dogs to run out and find these bunches of turkeys.
That's the ones that got the spread feathers on the back of the dog, and they like a turkey. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Send your little Shih Tzu or whatever that thing is that you've got at the house out.
Yorkie poo.
Oh, okay. and they bust the turkeys up, and then the dog comes back and hides with the hunter, and they wait right there, and the turkeys come back. It's called decoy dogs.
That's awesome.
The other thing is decoy dogs for coyotes. These predator hunters that shoot at long range have dogs that will actually go out when you see coyotes at long distance and chase the coyote, but then the coyote will turn like he wants to play, and they'll lead them back to within gun range of the hunters.
Oh,
so we got somebody from, I think it's Don Watkins, I think from Ohio, who makes turkey calls and uses a turkey dog, decoy dog. And then we got Seth Simpson from Boise, Idaho, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And he is a predator hunter. So we're going to have the Double D show, decoy dog.
I really think I'm onto something with the dog spread with the feathers.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
I think outfitting a dog and training him how to just kind of ease
now,
out
you know
there.
what?
Matter of fact, I think you need a hat like that.
Have you seen? They've got a video that's on one of the outdoor shows where those guys ease right up. They get right
the
up
turkey
to those
spread.
turkeys.
Yeah.
The turkey
Walk
spread.
up with
They
them.
walk up to them.
I'm telling you, it'll work on a
They
dog.
can reach out there and grab that turkey if they wanted to.
Yeah, why buy a gun?
Exactly.
Yeah. Do it the real man way.
Yeah.
Up close and personal.
You wish you had a gun and spurs get on you.
No doubt. Also on this show, we got Johnny Geis. He is going to give us a little report from Lake Fork, what's going on there. I'm sure he's probably not fishing right now.
Oh,
What?
he sent me a picture this
He's been
morning.
stroking them?
Yeah.
Really?
I smoked them yesterday.
I can imagine with this kind of weather. Now, you know what? Mike and I were talking.
Caught 45 yesterday,
Holy cow.
and there's a tush hog.
That was a toad.
I bet I fished.
Is that all on Lake
That's
Fork?
probably 8, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Lake Fork.
Mike was wanting to
I assume.
Mike was really wanting to go tomorrow. And it just it looks like it's going to come down too hard, doesn't it?
Another 90% tomorrow, so I think I'll probably wait and go
I
Friday.
What about for the weekend warriors? Those of us that got real jobs, not like you old retired guys.
Well,
what's it going to be for Saturday?
I canceled my trip tomorrow to Rayburn. I was going to go over there and pre-fish. Now I'm going to go Friday morning, and if it's real bad Friday morning, I'll stay on trailer that day too. I'll just go.
You ain't
blind.
scared.
Why don't you just not go Friday, because they will cancel it Saturday?
They probably will. You're probably right. I went Monday and I found 3 groups of fish that I feel pretty good about, and I'm happy. It's just how muddy is it going to get? Who knows?
Does Rayburn get muddy?
Yes, it does.
Does okay.
Yeah,
Mike, what about boss? I mean, you as the tournament director, what would it take for you? Because yours is a trailer anywhere, not like what Steve's going to be fishing, where you're launching out of one particular location. If it's a trailer anywhere, what would it take for you to say, "Hey, this tournament's canceled"?
I'll cancel one on high water on the river.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
When they deem it necessary,
Right.
deem it unsafe conditions.
Now, is that when they shut all the ramps down that you make that decision?
No, because they can shut the ramps down just at a certain level,
Okay.
and that's the core ramps. They don't shut
Right.
down the private launches.
Right.
Right, private.
But when the Corps of Engineers says we deem the river hazardous conditions, that's a lose-lose proposition.
Yeah.
You have a tournament, somebody gets hurt,
Oh yeah.
you're dead.
Right.
That's you can't win that one.
Right.
Most of our lakes, even high winds, are not life-threatening. Caddo
Right.
Lake, and especially launch anywhere you can get on one side of the lake or the other.
Sure.
Bistano, it can't get too windy to
Right.
fish. Black Lake's the same way. Cross Lake is one of the roughest shallow lakes
I'd agree with
we
that.
got
Yeah.
around here.
Yeah.
Toledo would be the only one that I'd be concerned with. However, being a trailer tournament, you don't have contact with everybody that morning.
Oh, amen.
But it also allows them 30-mile-an-hour winds out of the south. Well, I'm going to go launch in the back of Lanai.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Stay there.
Right.
Yeah. So you can get out of that kind of
That's
weather.
where, heaven forbid, the anglers need to use common sense.
Exactly. Yep.
What now? How do you spell that?
ROLAIDS. Isn't that it? Okay, real quick. We got last week's results from Sam Rayburn. A guy, I don't know if we've had Kevin on the show before or not. Kevin Lanzione from Dry Prong, Louisiana, won the event.
No, this was what event?
The FLW Costa Series, which
Okay.
is the next level below the pro level, which a lot of the pros drop down and fish this. And but anyway, Kevin Lanzione from Dry Prong won it. He had a 2-day total of 53-1. They canceled day 3.
He's got 53 pounds after 2 days of fishing.
He had 31.6 on day 1 and 21.11 on day 2.
Dude, that's a 5.3 pound average
Yes.
with 10 fish.
And he had a 11-pound lead going into the final day.
Wow.
So I don't think anybody caught him anyway. 'Cause-
No. Not if he was. All he had to do was show up.
Yeah, and then looking down the list here, Daryl Gleason, one of our reporting guys, he
Yeah.
finished 5th at over at Rayburn. He had 37.11 for 2 days, and won $12,500. Let's see here.
Jason Bonds.
Well, that's a different Jason Bond. Let's see.
Stephen
here.
Johnston.
Stephen Johnston, guy we've had on the show several times, finished 11th from Hemp Hill. Let's see here. Todd Castledown we've had on the show before. Phil Marks, who's won 2 tournaments already at Rayburn this year, finished 19th. Cameron Madison, that's the one I wanted to get to. Old airline boy is doing really well on these circuits. He has finished 20th. He had 2-day total of 32-1, finished 20th overall. We're talking 225 pros Cameron Madison is in the top 20.
And how old is he? 20,
He's
21,
he's
22?
20. He should be right at 20. He ain't
Okay.
been out of high school but a couple of years.
Yeah.
So, and then looking down the list here, Randy Deaver finished 25th from Blanchard. Randy Despino finished 27th from Colfax. Andrew Upshaw, we've had on the show. He resides at Tulsa, Oklahoma. Nick LeBrun finished 35th. Those were the top Shreveport guys that top 35. Again, 225 pros. You make top 35, you did something. And congratulations to all those guys. They did a great job.
You know, now there was a there was a tournament on, was it Rayburn over the weekend or was it Toledo last weekend that there was like 300, 400 teams in? Oh, it was the Toledo tournament. It was Bass Champs.
Bass Champs.
And Jeff Holder and Terry Burghardt finished
came in
fourth.
fourth. Yep.
Way to go,
and they
guys.
had like a 4 to 4.5 hour fog delay that morning.
Yeah.
They didn't start releasing them until somewhere around 11 o'clock that
Coach
morning.
Bickham told me 11. I talked to him on
Yeah,
the way. He
okay.
was in that event this weekend. He said 11 o'clock's when they released
But they did extend the weigh-in by about an hour and a half.
Hour
in
and
the
a half,
evening.
he
And
said,
Jeff
yeah.
and Terry ran out, and Jeff caught one like 5.5 pounds first cast.
Wow.
So they had 24 something for fourth place.
Wow.
Yep, I'm gonna borrow some money.
I
from
just
them.
love those guys. Also on today's show, we mentioned a little while ago that we had the dog talk. We're going to try to get to a couple of big events that are coming up. A big tournament that's going to be held this Saturday on Caddo Lake. And then next Thursday, Summer Grove Baptist Church. Johnny Geis is involved with this because he is the grand prize. You can win Johnny Geis.
Yeah.
How about
He'll
that?
get better than that.
Well, if I win him, he better bring his riding lawnmower because I want him to do the yard. I'm not. Yeah, we're gonna fish anytime. I'm getting some work out of Johnny.
HUTD had their tournament. We know somebody did good in that one.
Yeah, we did. We got the results of that right here. Mike Farr and Jeff Wallace won it with a one-day total of 28:37.
Now, they could fish either Caddo or Black Bayou Halston.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
and
right.
There,
I see
and there
that.
were a few teams went to Black Bayou, but I don't know how many.
They had a big fish of 865. That goes a long way on a 28-pound stringer. Michael Barker and Eric Hayes finished second with 22.72. And Hutton Leopard and Heath Ramsey finished third with 22.34. And looking on down the list there, and what is that, Mike fifth or sixth? Mike Eccles and David Brown
Looky here.
Yes, sir.
at 15.7.
Did y'all go to Caddo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
gotta
I
ask.
mean, David lives on the banks.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't hurt. He looks like Howdy Doody.
Howdy doody.
He does. He looks like Howdy Doody. I've told him that for years.
And right behind Mike and David was Cole Garrett, who everybody knows around here, and Seth Carson, two great anglers, good team. They had 15.46, and Cole said they caught fish. I talked to Cole yesterday. Said they caught fish off and on all day, but he did catch them early as far as his weight.
Yeah, he caught one over 5. He said it was so dark he couldn't hardly see where.
Did you catch fish early?
No, because we opted to eat breakfast.
Well, Chris has a great restaurant. David's son, Chris Brown, has got an incredible restaurant. And, dude, he takes pictures and puts them on Facebook every day of what the lunch special and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Yum Yum.
It's right there if you're, like, going in
If
towards.
you're going to turn left off Highway 1 to go to the Old Cool Point, right there on the right.
Yeah, and I mean, it's unbelievable.
Him and his girlfriend Emily, they work really hard and they do a great job. But you got to know David Brown and my brother Claude fish with Shelby, and you just got to know them. You could start fishing in H&W at 6:35.
Yeah.
David said we're meeting at 6 for breakfast.
At the restaurant.
Yes, we were still there at 7. I was drinking the milk gravy out of a coffee cup. Wasn't even putting it on the biscuits. We got on the water at 7:30. We had missed 55 minutes of fishing.
Wow.
And caught 3 overs in 20 minutes.
Isn't that crazy?
I told David, I said, while we were up there eating, these fish were out here
Biscuits
doing
and
the same
gravy.
thing.
Yeah.
But were the biscuits worth it?
Oh, my gosh.
And by the way, they had 91 team turnout for this event, so
And a great payout.
Good job. Good job, guys.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
Calls you friend. You don't need an invitation. Kick off your shoes. Come on.
The Hook It Up and Tracking Down Show would like to say thank you for tuning in today. We're so blessed with great sponsors like Dionware Rods and Reels, J&J Exterminating, V&M Baits, Commercial Power Equipment, and Toledo Town and Tackle, your fishing tackle headquarters and home of the best burgers on the Bend. Now back to the guys who have eaten way too many burgers, Gary, Steve, and Mike.
Little word about Commercial Power Equipment and the owner, Paul Sutherland. Just an incredible operation, incredible owner, and he is all about customers, whether it's your needs, any type of maintenance that you might have. And if you're looking for great products, he has got the absolute best mower on the market today, the X-Mark. In fact, if you're getting ready for all this rain, I'm telling you, this rain is going to bring the grass on.
Oh, yeah. When
it finally stops raining and you're able to, to put your rubber boots up, it's going to be time to get the lawnmowers out because, I mean, this warmer weather, even though this rain's coming in, we're not supposed to see, much less than 50 degrees even at night.
Yeah.
For
it's
the next
warm.
week or so. So get ready for all that. Blowers, trimmers to mowers, they've got it all. In-house financing available. When you look at some of the X-Marks and stuff like that, I'm going to tell you that you're gonna be able to customize everything that you need for your lawn. They've got a little bit of everything. So go to mybigmower.com to learn more about commercial power equipment. Again, go to mybigmower.com. Get all the information. Commercial power equipment.
There you go.
Gary McCoy, Ranger, Iowa, Pro Staffer Steve Graff, the old mud hen Mike Eccles is here, and the rain is coming down. What do you think? I was told, and I don't know this to be a fact, but I was told that there is the SRA is trying to do some work on the Toledo Bend Dam right now, and that really they were hoping to get the water back up to 170, but they want to try to hold it there while they finish some work. I do not know that to be a fact, so I'm spreading gossip like everybody else. But I'm going to tell you, you get a good 4-inch rain anywhere Carthage north, and with this kind of a front coming through that extends all the way from north of New York all the way down, I don't know that they're going to be able to stop it at 170.
It's going to jump up. I don't know if they can let
how long it'll stay, but
yeah, I don't know how long they'll keep.
I would like for somebody, Daryl Gleason said something last week about that, and about them going to leave some of the gates open or leave them down.
But they were closed and when I checked a couple of days ago.
I would like to really find out for sure whether is all the water going to stay?
Yeah.
Or are they going to be keeping it down to a certain level? Because we've got enough rain right now. We were 4 feet low on Toledo.
Right.
Now, just here the other day, we had come up about a foot and a half.
Yeah.
And with this here, if the gates are closed, it could very well be at 172, which is pool, by next week.
Yeah, and
if they're not going to suck it out.
I wonder, if you had 4 inches of rain over the course of 5 days, and let's say that it was even a little bit more, but even at 4 inches, with that being such a huge watershed, it makes you wonder, would 4 inches of rain equate to a 2-foot rise in the lake or more?
Yeah, well, right now it's at 169.43. It's a difference of 2.57 feet low compared to 172. Yeah. So, and as you said, it's gonna come up. Now,
yeah.
I did talk to a guy that put in at 1215 Blue Lake area.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's not even in the bushes yet.
So,
no.
He said you gotta have to. He said there's some fishing bushes way up the lake, and he said, but it's just not there in Mid Lake right now. It's not there. So.
Okay.
But I think I'd be 171, I think, to really be effective in that area. But Bash Cash Bash is going on. And by the way, P.D. Vincent told me to remind everybody, next week is when it starts at Lake Fork. So you want to make sure you get registered for that. And they're also having a big giveaway. They're trying to spread the word about Bash Cash Bash. It's coming to Lake Fork starting March the 1st of 2018. You must like, share, and comment with someone's name. They got a great prize package on here. You get the Bash Cash Bash long sleeve shirt, V&M baits, caps, visors, Lou's visor, rod covers. Just a great package giveaway. So if you'd like to register for that and have a chance to win, winner will be chosen Monday, February 26th at noon. And so make sure to check that out. But again, he really wanted to reiterate, PD, I talked to him yesterday. They've had some fish brought in on Sam Rayburn.
What was it, 4 of them?
13 have been brought, but only 4 I think were actually registered.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys missed
There's
out.
9 disappointed people.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? Now I wish that it was open on Toledo, which it won't open on Toledo until
Right.
Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
But I wish it was open now. With the number of us going there for Boss and everything. But it will be open for the championship.
Yes.
And keep in mind, you can catch last year's tag and still get a little something out of that.
Yeah.
Which I want to go ahead and tell the guys, I haven't announced this yet, but the championship, we were not sure where we were going to have it. And I started looking for availabilities as soon as we it was voted in. And Cypress Bend is the only facility that's available that weekend, June 2nd and 3rd.
Okay. So June 2nd,
I know it's
3rd.
a little further drive, but that's it. Go ahead and start making your reservations. Start calling the hotels and stuff, and get you a room down there for that weekend.
But as far as lake location, that's a great place.
It is. It's just further than
It is,
some
it
of the
is.
guys want to drive.
Right.
Mike, will it be a launch anywhere or launch there?
No, it'll be a launch anywhere.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
it'll
we
be
will
away
weigh in at Cypress Bend. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's going to be June 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, the first weekend in June.
Okay.
Another thing I want to talk about is we've already mentioned it, but we're doing this scholarship foundation for Dr. Tommy Brown that passed away in December. Everything thanks to the Louisiana LSU Health Research Center has taken over the foundation and the website and everything, which has just been a godsend. They are up and running now. The banquet is April the 24th. That's a Tuesday night at East Ridge Country Club. It's going to be a dinner and a lot of door prizes and a sportsman's auction. And one of the first things we got was the Ron Atwood's going to paint an original. I mean, he's going to paint the only one in the world.
We got a second. Can you tell the story about that paint?
Yeah. Let me finish this, and
Okay.
I will tell the story and about the painting. Absolutely. Then Steve Nichols, God bless him, $14,000 trophy elk hunt in New Mexico. Denny Breyer went to Ron Speed. Now we've got a trip for 2 people, 3 days fishing on your choice of 3 lakes in Mexico. We're going to have some guns. We're going to have other hunting and fish. The stuff is just starting to roll in, and a lot of door prizes. Go to, if you'd like to attend, it's probably going to be limited to about 300 people because of the facility. Go to www.dinnerfortommy. That's all you got to remember. Everything, www.com, that's standard. Dinner for Tommy. Go to that, and you can purchase your ticket. If you get 8 people together, go ahead and purchase a table, and that way you can ensure you and your friends are all sitting together. And what do you want? You want to know the story?
I want to know the story. You were telling us the story at dinner last night of the painting that Ron's going to do for this particular event.
Yeah, Ron and I went out to Heartland 1010 a few weeks ago, and he wanted to look around. He wanted to look at some of the lay of the land, some of the deer stands, get an idea how to do this painting and tie it into Tommy without putting Tommy in the picture. And one of the first things we saw was this huge set of horns laying there, and we asked about it, and Craig said, well, that's the deer that they called Earnhardt. He said he was at 2.5 years old, he was over 300 pounds. He was a bully. He ran all the other deer off of every time they came out in the evening, and he ran a certain particular stretch of woods that Tommy called the primitive woods, just a piece of his property that he really
was
liked.
the Gary McCoy of Blanchard. Gary was a
that was
bully
it.
when he was growing up.
That's it.
We heard that the other day.
Yeah.
It's not a bully.
And well, he was a little wider than Gary, you know. So Ron Atwood decided, I'm going to paint this picture of this deer. Craig had game camera pictures of him. I'm going to paint this deer, and he went down into the section called Primitive Woods, took pictures, and he's going to paint it in there. That's where that deer actually died. And going to call it Heartland 1010, the Primitive Woods. Then I found out that Denny Brower is the one that named him Earnhardt. He named him, and Tommy were riding around, or he was hunting there, and they watched this buck fight and run everybody off. And Denny Brower said, he's just like Earnhardt. He just pushes everybody around. So they named the deer Earnhardt. Now Denny Brower is upset about that, because he said, y'all are going to break me. I've got to have that. I've got to have that.
And that's a $20,000 painting.
Well, 10, but
Oh,
yeah, we'll take 20.
$20,000.
Yeah.
$20,000 painting.
But that'll be part of the band, and it's just everything's coming together. It's going to be a good event, and let's show it. This is going to scholarship for up and coming students wanting to go into the medical field. There will be some stipulations. I think the recipient will have to be from one of 3 parishes. Will have to be from a community of maybe less than 10 or 15,000, and we'll have to have a love of the outdoors.
The fishing trip to Mexico, what would you value that, Mike? Ballpark.
We're trying to figure out some way, somebody to sponsor the airfare. American Airlines flies out of Dallas to Mazatlan.
If there's someone listening right now that's got a connection to any one of the airlines,
yes, or has a ton of air miles that's fixing to expire,
that you would donate to this particular cause.
That's a good idea.
Right
If we can get the airline the flight as part of the package, that right now is like $900 a person. So you're up at almost $2,000 for that, and then the 3-day fishing trip. I'm going to say it's a $5,000 deal.
That's
Wow.
what I would think, too.
And what lake are they going to be on?
It's either they get to pick El Salto, Comadero, or another lake that starts with a P, and I don't know I can't pronounce the name of it.
Ah, boy, El
but you get to
Salto or
pick before you
Comadero.
go, yeah.
That'd be a tough choice to have to
Now,
make.
telling you,
now the other lake I don't know about the Comet, but I do know that Tommy and them.
Isn't there one called Sugar Lake or something? Sugar Lake? I think there's one called Sugar Lake.
There might have been, yeah.
It's popular.
Lori Smith and them just got back. They had a great trip going back in May, and I think they're going to Comadero.
Yeah, Comadero's awesome.
So that would probably be
I
the
used to
one that I
fish San Lorenzo and went to Baccarat one time. That was
Now, do you bring your own gear, or they supply everything? You just bring your clothes and that's it?
No, you have to bring your own tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
It's something you never gonna forget, baby. You know.
Want to know more about our crazy show? You have to check out our website. It's HUTDshow.com. Loaded with video tips that's sure to make you a better all-around outdoorsman. This segment presented by K2 Coolers, Nichols Department Stores, Groove Fishing, and Lake Fork Marina. Winner of the Hook It Up and Track It Down Best Marina on Lake Fork. To reserve your cabin or hotel room, go to lakeforkmarina.com. Once again, here are the largemouths of Outdoors Radio, Steve, Gary, and Mike.
If you're looking to take a guided fishing trip down at Toledo Bend, the Big Bend, I'm telling you right now, Daryl Gleason, who is fresh off a 5th place finish at Sam Rayburn, knows how to put you on a fish at Toledo Bend. You'll have a great day. You'll be educated. He'll teach you a lot of things, not only about techniques and methods, but he'll also teach you about your electronics. Great Lowrance pro. So make sure you check him out. He caught 3 bass in a 6-month span, all over 10 pounds. Again, half-day or full-day trips are available. He'll do whatever you want to do. And it's Foster Fence Pro, Daryl Gleason. To book your next Toledo Bend adventure, call 337-397-8860. That's 337-397-8860. And matter of fact, we're going to get his information and put it on our website, which is HUTDshow.com. I'll make sure we get that up by next couple of days.
Well, in regards to my question a few minutes ago about Toledo Bend and the rumor that I had heard about work being done on the dam and stuff like that, and them trying to hold it at 170 while they're trying to get that done, Billy and Linda Phipps said that they were driving across the dam yesterday and didn't see any construction equipment or anything there. But Mike says Daryl mentioned when we had him on last week that they hadn't even let the bids out on that particular job yet. Right. So,
and again, it could be fall before they get started.
So why would they be concerned about where the level is now if it was going to be that late before they even do the work?
Those things get hung up in red tape so much, especially on contracts.
I'm telling you, us fishermen are worse than a hen house.
Exactly.
When it comes to gossip.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. Hey, our K2 Coolers question of the day today in our segment, What's Up With This? California continues its pursuit of banning fishing tackle. And the question of the day is, will other states follow California, and how will it affect the tackle industry overall? Now, you got to kind of set the stage on this, Steve, and let us know exactly what are they doing right now in regards to tackle.
Well, the biggest issue has been they've been finding these birds dead that's got lead weights in them, and they're accusing, of course, the fishing industry is where they came from. But it says, due to the large size of lead weights and sinkers identified in legislation AB 2787, it may be the most far-reaching ban on fishing tackle in the country and will clear out the inventory of most fishing tackle shops. Moreover, given the significant restriction placed on lead content, it is not certain whether alternative products exist in the market, and by most estimations, alternative products can cost up to 20% more than traditional lead weights. I don't know what they've meant by that, because tungsten's been out for a while. They act like there's no alternative.
And I wish tungsten was only 20% more.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot more than that, especially you start buying in 1 ounce. Increased costs and regulations have had a devastating impact on the state's fishery participation rate and funding for conservation programs depending on fishing license sales. While the nation's fishing participation rate has increased, California, on the other hand, is not sharing the same success. According to the U.S. Census, and California ranks dead last in fishing participation per capita.
Really?
Dead last.
Is it because there's so many people and there's so much of it that's like in the confines of big cities like Los Angeles, San Diego?
I don't know what that reason would be. I don't know if that's how they would judge that or not. But
when you consider the fact that
when you look at
so many big fish have come out of California,
the Delta is one of the richest freshwater
and they're trying to kill all the bass in a lot of those to protect some other fish. I don't know which one.
California's off their roster.
Will other states follow that lead?
That's my concern. Who's next?
It depends. It depends on whether it's a red or a blue state.
That's exactly right.
In Louisiana, I can't imagine it ever happening. And that brings to mind, like the goose hunting and duck hunting and stuff like that. I don't know which one's worse. I don't know if more ducks and geese are just crippled because of the non-killing factor of a steel shot. I don't know, if they have more that are dying from lead poisoning or more that are just crippled up or die.
Well, Mike, you hunt ducks all the time. How many birds with steel shot are you seeing? Okay, we hit that bird, and that bird just kept flying.
Steel shot does not kill.
Doesn't have the
Like lead.
As lead. It's a fact. It doesn't. But it's the way people react. What in California? Of course, this is my opinion. Bring back Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor and Superman was wanting to set off this bomb along the border of California
and
and blow it into the ocean so where he'd have new beach front property. I wish Superman had just ate kryptonite or something and let Lex Luthor go, blown California into the damn ocean. But what if a few seagulls die from lead weights?
Yeah.
What if, cormorants, some of them, they find some with lead weights? Big friggin' deal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many fish are swimming around?
We are putting some overpopulated animals' well-being, above billion-dollar industry.
You're in the tree hugger state too. I mean, you're.
Well, I'm going
California.
to, you were talking about the fish having it. As long as I can remember, they have said, oh, you really ought to not eat the fish in Caddo Lake because of the mercury level in them. I should weigh 900 pounds. I've eaten that much mercury. I ought to be able to tell you what the temperature is within a tenth of a degree.
You ought to be glowing.
You ought to look like a 180-pound rectal thermometer.
You
got so much
I do
mercury.
kind of look like that.
Well, the original Assembly Bill 2787 states a person shall not manufacture, sell, or purchase a fishing weight or sinker in California that has no cross section greater than or equal to 2 centimeters, which is less than 3/4 of an inch, in length, and is under 50 grams, which is less than 1 3/4 ounce.
So what they're saying is you cannot have a 3/16 ounce,
or half ounce, or 3/8, or
that's lead. So
good
you're going
God.
to have to go to tungsten.
Yeah. So you got to throw what's that? How big are those weights you put on your tires, on your rims? That's about what you're going to be throwing. I was like, my God. But anyway, there is a petition ban, if you're interested, you people out in California that listen to the show. In response to the bill, the California Sports Fishing League has launched a no fishing tackle ban petition that seeks to organize California's 2.6 million anglers in opposition to this bill.
Is it any wonder that state is broke?
Oh, my God. Yeah,
No, because they're paying people to come up with ludicrous legislation like this. How much did you just have to sit around and dream up to come up with the proposals for this bill?
I would love to talk to a biologist that can tell me, obviously lead is not real safe. But really, how big of a danger is it in the whole scope of things, with all the other dangers that are considered, for ducks and fish?
There's other things to be a lot more worried about than this.
I mean, I don't know that this is.
Let's don't kill a seagull, but we will have safe cities.
Yeah.
Where people that are trying to kill Americans can
go hang
up.
out. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's don't do anything about the drugs. Let's don't do anything about the gangs.
Heroin.
Yeah, nothing about that because that's too bad. But let's don't kill a seagull.
Yeah.
I think the people that came up with this were the ones that were eating the lead paint off their toys when they were little. That's the ones that came up with this. Now, listen to this. In 2010, President Obama, U.S. EPA
Enough said.
agency rejected a petition to ban lead fishing tackle. Obama and him agreed. No, we're not banning fishing tackle in California. Then, in 2017, proposed a ban on his final day in office.
Oh, yeah.
Without any new alliance, analysis, or outreach to stakeholders, the Trump administration overturned the decision immediately.
See, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to put that out there so that Trump had to either be the bad guy one of two ways.
Exactly.
He had to disappoint somebody because somebody wanted the lead ban and somebody else didn't. And Trump had to disappoint that
and
liberal
the general public never heard this.
No.
They didn't care.
So do we disappoint California or do we disappoint the human race?
The scary part is does California set precedent for other states with the ban going through?
Well, sure it will. Sure it will.
Well, They say, you know, when it comes to like fashion trends like short socks, it all starts in California.
Well, I did.
And
So did men kissing men wearing short socks.
I'm not to that point, okay? But your point is well taken.
But you know what? Now I did read a little bit more in regards to the E15 ethanol.
Yeah.
One of the biggest issues on that is supposedly ethanol burns cleaner. It is less abrasive to the ozone.
But it's hotter. Yeah, it is hotter, too.
But it doesn't cause nearly the kind of complications, you know, with other carbon fuels and stuff like that. So, you know, that's one of the things that keeps getting that pushed through is the fact that, you know, and it makes you wonder, did that start there in California as well?
Could have been. I mean, you're talking traffic capital of the United States, probably is California.
Oh.
Without a doubt.
I've never been to Los Angeles.
I've been there once, but you don't want to be there at rush hour, I can tell you that. That place is a zoo.
Hey, don't forget now, here on the show today, this one's going to the dogs. We have got Dan Watkins on decoy dogs for turkey hunting. He'll be at straight up 12 o'clock for you. Then at 12:30, interview with Seth Simpson on using decoy dogs for hunting coyotes. Also got Johnny Geis on the show. We're going to talk to him here in just a few. We are hooking up and tracking down. 11:30, the Tiger.
Get up on your high horse, woman. Get up on your high.
Do you know about our social network? Check out our Facebook page at Hook It Up and Track It Down Show for outdoors news, great educational videos, and product giveaways. This segment presented by Daryl Gleason of South Toledo Bend Guide Service, Cypress Knee Outdoors, and United Rentals, supplying all the tools and equipment you'll ever need to complete your next project. Now let's wrap up hour number one. Here's Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles, and Steve Graff.
You know, we're supposed to have Johnny Geis on this segment, and I think we're going to have him on. But when he gets on, everybody's going to want to go to Lake Fork and go catch the biggest fish of their life.
No
If
doubt.
you do, go over to Lake Fork Marina. For over 30 years, it has been Lake Fork's full-service resort. Great accommodations from full-size hotel rooms to cabins and a scenic RV park overlooking the lake. They've got internet, they've got guest laundry, and a really, really good restaurant. That's Tiffany's, right? Isn't it? I think so.
Yes.
Tackle store right there with all the name brands. And when they have a tackle store on the lake right there. It's not going to be cluttered with a lot of stuff that you can't catch fish on. It's going to be the predominant.
And they
baits
keep it
on
updated.
They
you know,
do. They've got
seasonal
to.
and all that.
So go to lakeforkmarina.com to learn more about the #1 resort on Lake Fork.
Hopefully, Johnny Geist will be calling here in just a little bit. We had a little bit of a mixed message on that. Couple of things that we want to remind you about. McLeod Tabernacle putting on their 7th annual bass tournament this Saturday. 5 fish limit. They're going to hold the weigh-in at Earl Williamson Park. You can fish 30 minutes before legal sunrise until 2:30. You got to be in the weigh-in line at 3 o'clock. All places guaranteed money. First place, $2,000. Second place, $1,000. Third place gets $500. Entry fee is $120 a boat. You're going to have, no matter, you will be able to launch anywhere, but you got to go by Earl Williamson as early as 5 a.m. and get your live wells checked. So make sure you get that done. If you need some entry forms or something along those lines, I do believe they've got a Facebook page. You can print it out there. And that's McLeod Tabernacle, the 7th annual bass tournament. And something we want to remind you about, speaking of Johnny Geis, he is going to be the grand prize. A day fishing with Johnny Geis will be the grand prize, along with a number of other door prizes next Thursday. Not this week, but next Thursday, March 1st, the Summer Grove Baptist Church men's night, or sportsman's night out. And this is going to be awesome because they've got guest speaker Brody Swisher coming in. And Brody Swisher is like the #1. He's won the world, I want to say, in outdoor animal calling. I mean, this guy calls elk, he calls turkey, he calls bear. He does the whole shooting match, and he's got a great Christian message that he's going to have for that. But this Sunday, February 25th, last day that you can buy tickets for that. And Johnny, when Summer Grove contacted you, did you realize how big of an event this is? And I mean, you're the grand prize.
Well, not really. Bill Scott was one of my classmates back in Ringo that came over and fished with me a few days before the McDonald's tournament and told me all about it. And he's actually getting me involved. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I know that a number of people are going to be there. If you want to get tickets for that, they've got them right there in the church office. During the week, you can go by during their regular office hours. Now, you can go tonight or Sunday after church. They'll have them right there in the lobby. Or I think you can actually purchase them by calling one of the guys there. All the information is there on their Facebook page. Just check that out. Or you can go to Summer Grove. I think it's summergrovechurch.org, I believe, is the website. Johnny Geis is our Lake Fork Guide of the Year. Johnny, now, you caught 45 yesterday. How big was the biggest fish, that picture that you sent Steve?
We didn't weigh it. It was the only good female we caught. The rest of them little buck bass, and probably should have.
Probably should have kept talking.
When I dropped my phone, he went off. He ain't on my phone. So,
did we lose him? He's gone. Okay. Well, we'll try to get
and while we get him back, by the way, Lake Fork is exactly at pool 403. It's the current elevation, and that's their capacity is 403.
You were on Caddo over the weekend when y'all did good. What did Caddo look like?
I don't really know what to look at to say whether it's a pool, but I'm going to say it is pool. I really think it is. It's full. Mm-hmm. Lake looked good. It's getting muddy in a lot of places. The influx of water and the winds that we've had have muddied up a lot of the good spots. I think we got Johnny back.
Matter of fact, it's 1.42 feet high at Caddo.
Okay, Johnny Geis is back on Lake Fork. You caught 45 yesterday. You had one good female. The rest were buck bass. What's it looking like as far as the actual progression? I mean, are you seeing these buck bass coming in like this? Is this rain and wind gonna kind of hamper things?
No, I think they're moving on up. We got a 4.5-inch rain last night. And, it'll drop the water temp a little bit, but it was up to 56 degrees yesterday.
So with 4.5 last night, most of that will wind up down in Toledo Bend and south, won't it?
Yeah, they'll probably open up our gates. We're raining now. It's got more all day today and even tomorrow. So we're only like 3 inches low from full pool. So we're headed into the spawn in great shape this year.
Now, Johnny, with this, y'all going to have a cold front push in on y'all that we're not going to have here. It stalls out around Tyler area, they said, and will not reach us. But you're talking about temperatures in the 20s, and they're talking about snow flurries in Dallas tomorrow.
Yeah, they are, but it's going to stay right west of us. We're 36 degrees right now. Little bit chilly to be on the water. Had a trip today, and we decided to reschedule. Made a good decision on that. But, man, it was just fun to go out and catch fish real shallow, weightless flukes. Get ready for the spawn, man. It's turning on.
Yeah.
Johnny, if you were just going to go out and target big fish right now, what would you be throwing, and how deep would you stay? You're not going to get up in 2 or 3 foot if you just wanted to say, I want to go catch a great big fish.
No, they're still out. I would say probably 5 to 10 foot in the creek leading up to the shallow spawning area. I mean, there's a lot of fish that'll stay deep that won't spawn here until April, even into May. But our initial spawners, which are usually the heaviest ones of the year, it'll surprise you sometimes how quick they'll get into shallow water and get their business done.
You know, that leads me to a great question. From the time that fish moves up, when is that fish gone? From the time that she decides, okay, today's the day, and I move it up to the bed, when's she gone?
You know, I've seen them, invariably, they'll get in, it'll be the best fishing day, you can't wait to get there the next day, and a little front come through, and all of a sudden the fish will back out. I don't think they completely quit and leave, but they will back out and come back in a little later time. Sometimes it messes them up. Seems like, and they'll get back in, and they don't drop all their eggs at once, that seems like to me.
Oh, really?
That answers my question. I was just asking, do they blow them all at one time? Or
I'll be dang.
Oh, wow.
No, I've seen them too many times show back up, and Mother Nature's fickle. They don't want to get in and mess up and lose all the opportunities, so they'll get it done.
Well, I wonder a lot. I would imagine that it's a lot different on falling water than on rising water, isn't it? As far as pulling them out.
Yeah, but I mean, when it rises, man, that's when they're all headed shallow.
Yeah.
They just moves up, but falling water, it makes them real skittish, especially the big fish. They'll drop out pretty quick.
Over the years that you've spent on Lake Fork, how true is it that, because I've always believed that the 3 days prior to and after the full moon, February, March, and April, probably the best 18 days in the whole fishing year. Is there any merit to that with what you've seen on Fork?
I guess that depends on how you measure best fishing days. Probably your heaviest per fish weight days would be those kind of days when they're really up accessible. But I mean, I've had some June days when you can catch 25 fish that average 5 to 7 pounds. That's pretty good fishing,
dude.
Yeah. We've done that before.
Yes, we have. We were in the boat with Johnny Geis when it happened. He was the first trip that we ever made there.
Yeah,
was that June, Johnny?
It was. It was either late May or early June.
Yeah.
When does that bite really kick off? Is that about the start of it?
No, it's about mid-May, right after the spawn winds down and the fish move out and start, setting up on the long points, kind of recovering from it.
But that trip we went with Johnny that day, he had been checking some of those spots, and they hadn't been there. And the day we were there,
was the first
they
day.
were actually there.
Yeah, they showed up.
Yeah, they showed up.
Yeah, it's about that fast too, because they'll stay. You know how they get real picky after they spawn, and you have a spell of a couple of weeks, you just can't seem to get fish to bite, and then all of a sudden they show up and they're turned on. And
now let me ask you this, Johnny. I've got a tournament at Rayburn this coming weekend, and I can go over there right now. I went over Monday and called. I could have filled up a live well, both sides, with 2.5 pounders. If I've got fish in those kind of areas, am I better off just sticking with them because the females just hadn't showed up yet? Just stay with those.
Not on Rayburn. You're not. You're going to have 25, 35 pounds to have run up there.
But what I'm saying is, do I need to be patient and wait on the big females to show up there, or keep? Or what? I mean, because eventually they're going to get there, I would think.
My observation was that if you're catching small fish and they're in front of you, between you and the bank and shallow, the big ones are behind you.
Right.
You just turn right around, you move out, and you fish that next break line, and that seems to be where the to hang up and where you can catch them if they're not up sight fishing sitting on the nest.
Well, both these groups are in a creek bend in about 14 to 15 foot of water, and the males are there, 2.5 to 3 pounders, but could not catch nothing over 3 the whole time I was there in either one of those creeks.
Do you want him to just come over there and fish for you?
Yeah,
No,
that's
I want
what-
him to tell me he might need to stick it out where I'm at, which I think I do, but
Well, what about pressure in a situation like that, Johnny? How often have you seen when the fish first start moving up like that? Will fishing pressure make them move back out, or are they committed? If they're coming into that area, they don't care how many boats are there.
Not on fork because they're so used to that, and you can turn right around right after you troll down the bank, and fish behind the boat, and catch fish in the prop wash.
Wow.
We just get so much pressure; they're just kind of used to that. Yesterday, little old cove we fished, we didn't move out of a 2-acre end of the upper end of a creek. Had a little bit of grass in it, and we just sat down in there and started throwing around and around and around, and we caught fish from 9:15 to 12:30. That's how many fish we boated. So it was pretty fast and furious there.
What's the pressure looking like right now on Fork? Are you starting to see a lot of your snowbirds down for the year?
They're coming. We've got a big tournament starting this weekend with the Bass Champs, a real big circuit over here, and they really have a lot of anglers. Good fishermen. They were all over the lake last weekend because it was off limits during this week. They were struggling, but they'll go back fish the same areas, and I'll bet you they'll have several overfish caught.
yeah, what a difference a week makes in our neck of the woods.
If you're
And again, here you have to be lucky to get one over 24 inches. So you
Right.
can go catch 25 pounds every day here, and if you're fishing a tournament, not have a fish to weigh in.
Right.
Okay, Johnny, if somebody needs to get some of their homework done, or they're just dying to catch the biggest bass they have ever caught in their entire life, how do they get in the boat with Johnny Guys?
Man, just give me a call. It's 972-800-3882. 972-800-3882. We'll set the trip up and get fishing.
Also got an incredible Facebook page. You can go to lakeforkbigfish.com. Johnny Guys, Lake Fork Guide of the Year. We can testify. Graf, biggest fish you ever caught. Who were you fishing with?
I was fishing with Johnny. And I will say this, my tournament success at Lake Fork is due to the fact that you need to catch smaller fish to be successful there.
Exactly.
And we did that.
Yeah, we did.
Really
We did.
target the 2.5 pound fish. Want to win a lot of money.
That's why we did good.
Yeah, that's it.
Graf
Thank you, Johnny Guys.
Graf needs to enter a brim tournament.
Do they have those? We need to start a circuit, Mike.
Hope to see everybody Thursday night. I'm bringing a 20-pound replica that was found dead floating on the lake. It's awesome to see. A buddy of mine, he actually found it on back in the 90s, and it's a huge fish to see a 20-pound fish come out of this lake.
That's awesome. Next Thursday night at Summer Grove Baptist Church. Johnny Guys, we appreciate you, brother. We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30 the Tiger.
Can you believe it? It's another hour of the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show. This segment presented by Despino and Jim's Big South Tire, the Red River Waterway Commission, Stingray Line Cutter, and Commercial Power Equipment. Let Paul Sutherland and his staff help you get ready for your spring yard work. Go to 750 Burt Coons in Shreveport for all your yard equipment needs. Take it away, guys.
Gary McCoy, along with the Ranger Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff. Old Mud Hen Mike Eccles is here. We've got web feet today. We got our umbrellas.
Yeah.
Flash flood warning in effect right now. Johnny Geist was just on, told us that he had 4.5 inches of rain yesterday at Lake Fork. So you know that, the combination of all of this, our waters are going to be rising. And I got to tell you about K2 coolers. I got a little testimonial about this. Last week, a guy that used to work here at the radio station, Mr. C.F. Williams, came to me and he says, Mr. Gary, he said, do you happen to have any deer that I could have? And I said, yes, I got some deer that you could have. And I grabbed...
You mean deer meat?
Deer meat, yeah. And so I went out, Chris Nesbitt and Carla at Bellevue Meat Processing do all of my stuff every year. And I went out to the freezer and grabbed him a bunch of stuff, some backstrap and ground deer and stuff like that.
Yeah, backstrap on it?
Yes. He's Mr. Williams.
This guy must be special.
He is a wonderful man. Anyway,
I wouldn't even get backstrap.
I put it in my K2 cooler. I put it in my K2 cooler on Thursday at about noon.
Yeah.
Okay? He shows up here Friday at about 1 o'clock. You know when you first take something out of the freezer, how it gets that glaze on it? It looks like it's still got frost on it.
Air hits it, yeah.
When I opened that K2 cooler, it still had that frost on it.
Oh, really?
Like I had just opened up the deep freeze and pulled it out. That's a K2 cooler. Louisiana-made product, a real cooler at a real affordable price. Use yours for tailgating, hunting trips, fishing, family getaways, whatever you might have. Just go to Paul's Farm and Garden, North Market in Shreveport to get yours, or go to K2coolers.com, and they'll be glad to help you out on that. Don Watkins.
Yes, sir.
Is the dog man.
The dog man.
Don Watkins, from what Mike Eccles is telling us, Don, you have figured out how to take advantage of Fido and help you in your turkey hunting.
Well, that was figured out years ago, all the way back to colonial time.
Really?
Yeah. To tell you the truth, I do not know if possibly the Indians hunted turkeys with dogs, because they certainly called turkeys. They had wing-bone turkey calls. And, the early white settlers may have learned that from them. But it's a sport that goes back, it's written about at least 150 years ago. And it was predominant probably in Virginia and South Carolina and North Carolina, a lot of the mountain people. And I guess, people don't understand what turkey hunting with dogs is about, but the purpose of the dog is to find and scatter a flock of turkeys. So, God made turkeys that when that hen raises that brood, they stay with her all through the summer, all through the fall. And, up here in Ohio, and you can keep your rain down there, by the way. Up here in Ohio.
Yeah, we got plenty of it.
Yeah, well, you're sharing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Up here in Ohio, about September, you'll see 2 or 3 hens that all have their poults, and they'll get together, and we call that a family group of turkeys.
Mm-hmm.
And those birds will run together until about December. And then in December, those jakes are sort of like 15-year-old boys. Nobody wants to be around them. so she'll run them jakes off, or they leave on their own. I don't know which it is. So in December, you may find young gobblers. You may find hens with Jenny hens with her. And then the other group that's running is what we call a jake and a half. Well, that's going to be your 2-year-olds next in the spring. And then adult gobblers. And they pretty much keep to their own. That gobbler has no interest in those hens in the wintertime.
So the purpose of the dog really he's kind of outlived his usefulness by, what would you say, the end of December? From September until that point is when he's really got his opportunities.
Yeah, most of the seasons that exist are up until December. In Ohio, it's till Thanksgiving. Virginia does have a 2-week January season, but the purpose of the dog is these dogs go out and hunt the woods in front of you. You're walking along. And
just like your quail hunting.
Yeah, except you'd be pretty mad at your quail dog if he was 300 yards away.
That's true. I have seen that before.
Yeah, and if he only came back about every 10 minutes to check to see where you were, and that's what these dogs do, a lot of them. And when they find turkeys, they put on a bark, and they scatter that flock of turkeys. Now, if they're scattering hens and poults, they'll pretty much take to trees, and they'll split up in little groups, and the dog will run one way and chase 3 and come back and chase 5 another way and come back and chase 4 another way and come back and chase 12 another way. So at that point, we call that the break point. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to set up to do your calling, because again, just nature, the way it was designed, that hen always assembled those poults when any predator went in to get her, to get them, and her both. And when things were safe again, she'd start her assembly yelp, and those poults would start calling, and they'd come to her. And Jake and a halves and gobbers do the same thing, but the problem with gobbers is you might break them on Tuesday, and they don't care if they get together until Thursday.
Yeah, they're in no hurry.
It ain't ladies' night yet.
Pretty independent rascals.
But the dog, when he breaks these up, when he breaks the birds up, he's not like a squirrel dog, and he's going to tree that one bird. He's not going to sit there and just sit on that one bird up that tree, right?
No, he's going to. Well, these birds, when I say take to the trees, they may fly a quarter mile before they land in a tree.
Right,
and every terrain's different. Like where we live, it's real short, choppy hills, real steep and rugged. And, the dream of every fall turkey hunter is to live where it's flat. And those birds go in all different directions where it's flat.
Mm-hmm.
Here they tend to fly valleys and end up on the other side. But yet I hunt New York and Pennsylvania, and those are big mountains. So they tend to break, and they generally go down, because you're usually on the side of that mountain. But instead of flying across, it might be a mile across, so they scatter out right and left. So then a lot of times we'll slip down the side of that mountain a couple hundred yards to set up.
Don Watkins, what part of Ohio are you in?
We're about 25 miles in from PA and 25 miles up from West Virginia.
Okay.
That little corner.
My mother is from Hamilton, Ohio, right outside of Cincinnati.
I used to work for a company in Sydney.
Okay.
Holloway Sportswear is located in Sydney, Ohio.
Well, you're right. I mean, that's pretty much like our DeSoto Parish. There's a lot of rolling hills and stuff like that, and you've got a lot of landscape definition in that particular area of the world where you're out there. Down here, I don't know why we still don't have a fall turkey season.
Because you don't have anybody fighting for it. It took two men in the state of Ohio, 2 years to get a fall turkey season.
Really?
It took us 2 more years to allow turkey dogs. I helped John Freeze in the state of Wisconsin. I went there 3 years, took their head of Division of Wildlife and all their people on their TV shows, and we did turkey hunts. Because what they did in Wisconsin is he bawled and cried enough that they gave him a little test area, like 3 counties.
Mm-hmm.
So we went up and helped him, and they actually got to see what fall turkey hunting with dogs was about. But
now, how long does it take to train a turkey dog? I mean, what's the training? Like, is it like training a dog for duck hunting? Is it similar?
Well, turkey dogs are droppers. You know, that's a cross between 2 or 3 different bird dogs. They're Boykin Spaniel. That little Boykin out of South Carolina was bred to be a turkey dog. Then somebody crossed that dog and came up with a dog called a Boytel. And people use cur dogs, you know, like a big-legged squirrel dog, and they'll use them for turkeys. They do fine. But these specifics, a good friend of mine who's gone now was named John Byrne. And John Byrne, 50 years ago, was given a plot hound that didn't by a bear hunter. And the man said, John, take this dog, because if it barks in the daytime, it's breaking turkeys. It don't want nothing to do with anything else but turkeys. So John hunted that dog for years. And then he bred the dog to his neighbor's lemon and white pointer. And he had puppies out of that group. And the lemon and white pointer was a turkey dog. You know, it was a renegade pointer. And then he looked all over the country for a setter that yipped when it came close to birds. You know, like just picture a setter on a quail plantation. And he gets so excited, instead of pointing, he can't contain himself and he starts yipping. Well, you know, nobody wants that dog, so John didn't have any trouble getting his hands on him. So that was the third breed. And they've been straight line breeding these dogs for 50 years. And it's sort of funny because, like, my original Kiki dog, she had the crease down the middle of her nose like a plot hound. When she hunted, she'd put her head to the ground, her tail wagged, you know, just like an old hound dog. My cutter dog looks like an English pointer, and she hunts more with her head into the wind. And now I've got a puppy called Snickers, and she looks just like an English setter. So all those dogs come out in that bloodline. You know, generally it's the pointer that comes out, but occasionally the hound and the setter comes out. And, you know, they're a bred-for-purpose turkey dog. Well, that dog takes very little training. I mean, when they're 8 weeks old, we put these dogs in a bag, okay? You know, after they've ran every turkey out of the country, they come back to you, and you pick your hunting spot, and you put the dog in a camo bag, because the dogs are predominantly white, you know, black and white, brown and white, and you zip them up, and it helps keep them warm, and you cover them with a camo net, all but their head, and you start that when they're 8 weeks old. And the first time they break turkeys, they come back and get right in that bag. And they'll lay there for 4 hours while you call turkeys back.
Wow. Wow.
That's cool.
Don, this is so interesting. Now, tell me one final thing on this. We're running out of time. In regards to a particular hunt like this, do you if somebody in our area wanted to book a trip or something like that, do you do guided trips, or do you have access to information of somebody that might want to come up and try a hunt like that?
Yes, I do. The only place that's allowed to hunt John Byrne turkey dogs commercially is my good friend Pete Clare at Turkey Trot Acres in New York. And he guides fall turkey hunts, and it's probably the premier turkey lodge in the country. I mean, it's first class. And you're with real turkey hunters and Scott Bayshore. My name is Don Watkins, but my real name is Marlon Watkins. So I'm a turkey call builder. So I've won the Nationals several times. Scott Bayshore is a turkey call builder. He's won the Nationals several times. LaCourchek is a guide. He was with Rob Keck when it all started. You know, there's a lot of history there.
Wow. Don Watkins, thank you. We certainly appreciate your time, and what a fascinating sport, and an incredible thing that, you know, none of us had ever been privy to before this.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know a thing about it, and it used to be a well-kept secret, but we try to share it with people.
Well, amen. Thank you so much for spending time with us, Don.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, good doing it for you.
You bet.
Bye now.
Don Watkins with decoy dogs for turkey hunting. There's something you don't hear of every day.
No.
We're hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger.
Switchblade knife for $43.
Hey, we are hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger, Gary McCoy, along with the Ranger Iowa Pro staffer Steve Graff, Mudhen Mike Eccles, and this show would not be possible without the guru of radio technology.
Come on, baby.
The man who knows how to make us look good, sound great, our producer, Jay Wildman Watley.
Ooh, man, it gets better every week.
Pushing all the right buttons, making this show a success. Do you really know? Do you really push the right buttons? You just push one until something happens.
Actually, all the levels are set. I literally just tap it with my fingers. Sometimes I don't even do it.
Hey, this segment is brought to you by Daiwa Rods and Reels, Bayou Outdoor Supercenter, Groove Fishing, Seagar Fishing Line, and Rayburn Country Resort, an East Texas community and golf destination at Lake Sam Rayburn. Come for the weekend, stay for a lifetime. Book your next getaway at RayburnCountryResort.com.
Yep, I'll be there this weekend.
Okay, you got some stuff.
We do have some stuff, but first we got Groove Tackle Storage. Groove Tackle Storage it's kind of leading the way. It's kind of a new revolution when it comes to tackle storage, whether it's crankbaits, jigs, whatever you've got. That's the two boxes they've come out with here at first. They're originally fly fishing type company, but they're hitting the bass fishing market and they're doing a great job with it. Magnetic closures. Mike couldn't even get it open the other day. Silicone pads and inserts for jigs and crankbait storage. The crankbait box keeps the baits in place. No more tangled hooks or chip paint. Tough, durable storage system. Go to groovefishing.com to see the latest.
I used my boxes this weekend because first time I fished since about July of last year.
Did you have the jigs in the box?
Yes, sir.
Did that work as good for you as it does for me?
Yes.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, jig box is cool.
Dude, that's awesome. Now, the crankbait box, the only thing that I would suggest to them is maybe they make one that's a little bit bigger to accommodate some bigger crankbaits.
And they're going to.
Okay.
They're going to.
Because the one that we've got, if you're throwing anything bigger
than a bandit.
Yeah.
It's made for bandits.
And,
Right.
and actually, they need a box where you've got like one row is big baits, next one you don't have to have a box for every.
You're exactly right.
Your big crank.
Quarter
Or
ounce, half ounce,
you could move it over. You could move over the
adjustable
little
rubber.
That's
little
an
rubber
idea.
thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's an idea.
See,
Oh, yeah.
that's what we're here for.
I'll have them call y'all.
Yeah. We've got some outdoor news for you, and apparently this could be one of those big things that that if you like to fish down at Caney Lake, this could be a big item for you.
Well, you know, Caney Lake for years, guys, put out, you know, some tremendous. Matter of fact, I think they had the state record come out of there for a while. If it's still held out of Caney Lake or not.
No, it's out of one of the ponds at LSU now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That got beat.
That got beat.
That didn't hold but a few months.
Oh wow. Yes. Okay.
So anyway, regulation for black bass on Caney Creek is changing over there in Jackson Parish. As of yesterday, the existing slot limit will be rescinded and replaced with a statewide regulation of the species, for which is 10 fish daily creel limit with no length restrictions.
No length restrictions. 10 fish, no length restriction. Is there any kind of well, no, you say no, because I was thinking they might limit the number of big fish you could catch.
I think they want you to take fish out of there.
They do. They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
And I think that that in the years to come, that we will see an insurgent of the big fish on Caney Lake, because what will happen is people will start going to Caney Lake and start eating fish.
Yeah.
And they will reduce the population of little fish, which eat more than the big fish do. So the big fish will have more feed. And I think you'll see, and it'll take a few years, but I think you'll see a spurt in the growth of the fish that are coming off of Caney Lake.
Yeah.
See, I'm just, I'm still mixed on. I'm really not mixed. I think that Caddo Lake.
You may be confused.
That's me. I think that Caddo Lake, Lake Fork have outlived the need for the slot limit in its present form.
Right. And they give explanation on what you're talking about, Gary. The protected slot limit was initially adopted as part of the effort to increase trophy bass production.
Sure.
And following a 3-year comprehensive study, the LDWF determined, and their biologists determined, that length limit regulations have little impact upon the fishery, primarily due to the fact that voluntary catch and release fishing by Caney's bass anglers. They're catching and releasing everything.
And I'll bet you that's the case for Caddo as well. I'll bet you there's not a lot of people keep a lot of bass out of Caddo. Maybe school bass in the summertime.
No, they don't. They don't. And even if you take the regulations off, we talked about this a while back. I think it was us, talked to somebody about it. I believe that our society and our lifestyle has changed to where, we're not going to hurt the fish population anymore.
I agree.
It used to be 30, 40 years ago, if you went fishing, it was for one thing.
You caught fish to
catch
eat.
Fish. That's right.
Bring fish home.
Right now, I don't know how many times in the last 10 or 15 years I've gone bass fishing, had 4 or 5 little fish that just right eating fish in the live well, get ready to go in and say, I don't want to fool with it, and let them go.
Yeah.
Our busy lifestyle, what we eat, what we do, restaurants and stuff have got it to where the only time I do a fish fry now is for a group of people.
Yeah. Well, I've gotten a little bit upset because of the stigma. If a man wants to keep a mess of bass to eat, let him alone.
Bass fishermen, we did that to ourselves.
Sure, but you see these people. Somebody will post a picture. They caught some fish. And, some of them might have been a little bit bigger than somebody was comfortable with. And somebody wants to crucify them on Facebook or one of the other social media forums. And it's like, you know what? It's not against the law. If this man wanted to keep a fish to eat, let him eat the fish.
Let me tell you what they said here that I kind of disagree with them on a little bit on this. The removal of these regulations, they say, will enhance recreational opportunities and simplify regulations for area anglers. However, the department anticipates the potential for overharvest to be very low.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with the last part. The first part, simplifying the regulations, to me, had nothing to do with anything.
Well, it doesn't to you as a tournament angler, but you'd be surprised how many people that don't fish tournaments go to lakes that just cannot comprehend or not up on the regulations.
So they won't keep anything because they don't know what's legal and what's not legal.
That's true. That's a good point.
So, this weekend in the H&W tournament, they told me when it was over that they had a fair number of slot fish brought in. And I'm not talking about just fish that that just touched or didn't touch by 1/8 of an inch. They had fish. One guy brought in 2 15-inch fish.
Oh, wow.
And this was somebody decided to fish a tournament that just did not understand the slot.
Well, I can tell you that, like on Lake Fork, Graff and I got beat. We finished second in a tournament over there. We got beat by a guy, had one good fish, and he had 4 9-inch fish.
9-inch.
Those 9-inch fish were allowed to be weighed in. That was the difference between first and second.
Yep.
Was the fact that they were allowed because they were under the slot. There was no established minimum. And with that said, you know, I totally understand.
Unless I do some off-the-wall specialty thing in the future, which I've never done, you know, and I've had this occasionally. Somebody say, well, it doesn't say anything about a minimum. There will always be a minimum length limit in any tournament that I have anything to do with.
As long as you got it in the rules.
You don't have to have it in the rules.
Oh, you don't?
No. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You know, you got to be able to look at my mind and my butt and read my mind.
There you go. Hey, Seth Simpson is going to be on with us here in a minute, using decoy dogs for hunting coyotes.
You've seen it on TV.
This is something that we could do around here and probably need to do a little bit more predator harvesting around here. We're hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger.
Just a reminder, you can tune in Saturday mornings from 6 till 8 and hear the entire show right here on 1130 The Tiger. This segment presented by Wildwood Resort at Toledo Bend, Natchitoches Ford, and Bass Cash Bash. Don't be that guy who forgot to register and cash in on a great tournament circuit. Go to basscashbash.com to register today. Now here are the guys who should be registered as radio offenders, Gary, Steve, and Mike.
We are hooking up and tracking down radio's biggest offenders.
You had to sneak that one in there.
I saw that. You know, he grew his beard back. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it looks a little
He's
scruffy.
wearing a NASA hoodie.
That's right.
Where did you steal that?
I would be too embarrassed to say. Ross.
Does that mean you're a space cadet?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the certificate's in my
I
office.
couldn't grow a beard in 6 months. He just squints.
Yeah.
I couldn't grow a beard in 6 years.
That's right. That's why I am a grown man, boys.
Does your wife like the beard?
Hates it.
Does she really?
Yeah, hates
well,
it.
Why do you do it then?
Laziness, really.
That's why you do it in
It
spite
takes
of it?
time, man. It takes time to shave that thing.
Well, yeah.
Let it grow.
See, I tried one time. I about clawed my face off. I got the itching.
You gotta
do a good enough job.
Yeah, you got to get past
man.
that beginner stage. After that, it just.
I'm a beginner. I'm
you
a
know,
rookie when it comes to that.
Condition it right.
Good God.
Seth Simpson on the phone now. Seth, you're wondering already, what in the devil have I gotten myself into?
You just don't know.
Seth Simpson using decoy dogs for hunting coyotes. Seth, what part of the world are you in?
I live just outside of Boise, Idaho.
So, do you guys have as big a coyote issue in Idaho that we do down here?
Oh, I'd say probably. I mean, there's coyotes spread all across the United States, and we got just as many as anywhere else. That's for sure.
Wow.
I will say this about Boise. It's the prettiest place. I played football at Boise State. We played against Boise State at Boise on the blue turf.
On the
with the
Smurf
Rocky
turf?
Mountains in the background. That is, Seth, that is a beautiful place to play.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is a beautiful place to live too.
Okay, Seth. So tell me, I mean, is it hard to train a dog to commingle with these coyotes and not actually, get into a fight, because that's not their purpose. You don't want them out running the coyotes down and killing them. You want to shoot them. Is that hard to break them of that?
Not really. When it comes to training a decoy dog, the first ingredient is having a dog that will actually do it. Pretty much what a decoy dog does is something that comes naturally, that a dog learns to do it just from hunting experience. And, when you have a young dog, they're probably going to chase off a lot of coyotes. And you hope that they will chase off coyotes, because you need them to, you don't want them to be afraid of the coyote. You don't want them to be hesitant at all. When I have a young pup, and I take them out those first couple times, I don't really have very high expectations. I just want them to go to a coyote. If they chase it off, that's okay. Pretty much the only training that really goes into formal training per se is teaching them to respond to a tone or a vibrate on their e-collar, and teach them to come back to you. After they have their confidence, they understand what they're there to do and what's going on. About the only thing that I'll really do to control the dog is teach them to come back to me. And once they have that confidence, they're going out to coyotes, they're chasing back and forth, then I'll start teaching them to come back to me and bring that coyote to me. But there's really, any dog, there's really no particular breed that's better at it. It just it takes a dog that just naturally wants to do it and wants to chase and be chased and bark at coyotes. It's something that comes pretty natural.
Okay, Seth, Mike Eccles here, and thank you for being with us. Explain the reason for the dogs, because I've seen on TV a couple of times. Are they only beneficial when you have multiple coyotes at one time? Because I've seen them where they ran out and they jumped on a coyote that was shot but wasn't completely wasn't dead. But are they beneficial when you got one coyote out there? Or are they only for the ones where you've got multiple coyotes? You shoot one, it falls, they go out and bring the other two that run off back.
Well, when you're hunting coyotes with a dog, decoy dogging is nothing new. It's been around a very, very long time. Government trappers have been using it for years, and they found that during certain times of the year, coyotes are very, very aggressive. And that time of the year is usually starting the end of January, early February. They start breeding, tearing up, defending territories. They start becoming aggressive to other canine coyotes and domestic dogs included. And they just get more and more aggressive as they start to den and have litters of pups, become very, very protective of their denning areas. So if I'm going to try to decoy a coyote, pretty much the only time I'm going to have very good luck with that is going to be between the months of February and July. During that time, when I go out and I go hunting, if I'm trying to pull in a coyote, I'm going to use coyote focals on the howl, or I'm going to use a pup distress sound. And when these coyotes come in, whether it's a single, a pair, or a pack, typically they're going to come in looking to defend their territory, looking to defend their pups. And so, personally, I'll tell you what I do with my dog and what his job is. I have talked to a lot of guys that do it, and I really can't say I'm an expert on it. I haven't been doing it that long, but by talking to some guys that have done it a long time, I've talked to some government trappers that have used Labradors. That the dog's only purpose is they'll sit their dog out in front of them, and the dog will just kind of sit there, and the dog won't even really go to the coyote, but the coyote will come to the dog because they are that aggressive. And of course, the videos that you see, the excitement comes from a dog, in my opinion, that will go to a coyote. And my dog sits next to me as I call. He's looking out, and he's looking for these incoming coyotes. As soon as he sees them, I can send him and he will run out and engage these coyotes. It's sometimes like during the spring, you'll call in maybe a solo female coyote who has a den nearby, and she's going to be as aggressive as any coyote. She wants to run that dog out of the area. Sometimes you'll call in a whole pack, and they're trying to defend their territory, and that whole pack will dog and will chase my decoy dog.
Well, that's my question, because I saw on the Outdoor Channel the day this primitive hunting type deal, and they were talking how coyotes are changing a little bit in how they hunt, that now they're starting to hunt kind of like wolves in small packs, where they used to hunt just individually. Do you see the same thing?
No, I would say, in my experience, at least where I live, coyotes will, depending on their year, their behavior varies greatly. The time that you'll see them packed up is in the wintertime, when hunting's a little bit harder. They're wanting to open their options and be able to hunt deer, calves, bigger things that they normally wouldn't be able to hunt single-handedly. So that's when you'll start to see them pack up. It's come about January, February. Those packs disperse, they pair up, and the coyotes will live in pairs until about the end of June, July, when their pups leave the dens. And about that time the pups leave the dens, coyotes pretty much start living solo on their own, and they won't pack up again until it starts to get cold, and they start wanting to hunt some bigger prey. Usually when the snow hits, when the hunting gets a little bit tougher. Once they leave the pups leave the den, they become very non-aggressive. They're geared more towards their focus is on eating, getting fat for winter. They're not looking to fight. They're not looking to get hurt in any way. And so if I was to go out and try to decoy a coyote in, say, September, I'm not going to have very much luck with it. I'll call a coyote in, and they see my dog, and they say, I'm going to go find some mice over the next field over. I'm not really going to, I don't feel like fighting with this dog. Personally, I hunt with my dog year-round. I find that just as much benefit as a dog has for decoying, I find that it really, really benefits me to hunt with a dog year-round, because there's many, many times where I will shoot a coyote, I'll make a bad shot, and the coyote will run off, or they'll get into some thick brush, and I normally wouldn't be able to find them without my dog. I have my dog trained to where he will sit next to me, he's sitting by my side, and he won't go until I send him. So if it's if it's March, April, and I'm trying to decoy coyotes, I'm sending him out to every coyote I call in, hoping that they're going to decoy, because there's so much excitement and fun in watching that. That's what I want to do. But as soon as they start to get less aggressive, I quit sending him out, and he becomes simply his job is to find the coyotes I shoot. Even if I shoot one as many times, especially here out west, we're hunting big, wide open desert with very, very thick sagebrush. Even if I shoot a coyote and just drop it, it can be kind of challenging to find them. I do a lot of hunting at night, and I would say that without a dog, I'd probably lose 50% of the coyotes, maybe more, that I shoot, even if I drop them dead, because it's so hard to find them in the dark. So my dog's job becomes to find dead coyotes and then catch and hold any wounded coyotes that get away.
Do you have a bounty on coyotes there?
What's that?
Do you guys have a bounty on coyotes there?
No, we don't have. No, we don't have a bounty on coyotes. The only bounty that I know of nearby is in the state of Utah. But they're all the western states. Pretty much the only time you're going to get any money for a coyote is if you're skinning them in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Seth, the shows that I've seen, what you said kind of surprises me, because when I've watched the dog run out and then turn around and come back to the hunter and the coyotes follow them, I never noticed that the coyotes were in an aggressive mood. I mean, I thought they were kind of mesmerized or wanting to play with the dogs. I didn't know that they were attempting to run the dog away from their birthing den or anything like that.
It just depends on the coyote. Sometimes I'll send my dog out and that coyote just kind of trot along almost out of curiosity. But there's plenty of times where those coyotes see the dog and they start just coyotes have almost a scream when they get mad, and they'll start yelling and howling and chasing. I've had some real aggressive pairs straight up tackle my dog and try to beat him up. Coyotes aren't. There's really no danger, especially for a larger dog, to get killed by a coyote unless for some reason he got involved with a whole pack that was super aggressive. But I've never really had an occasion where I've been worried about my dog's safety. Yeah. But sometimes they will be very, very aggressive, and they'll posture and they'll howl and they'll chase and nip at the dog. It just depends on the time of year, and it depends on the coyote.
Coon hunting here in the state of Louisiana, real big. And a good friend of mine used to have one of the best coon dogs probably in the whole northern part of the state of Louisiana. And he said that anytime he was training a young pup for coon hunting, that he always wanted to gut shoot a coon so that it would fall out of the tree, and the young pup, 6-8 months old, will go up there and that coon bite him. He said if that coon ever bit him, he had made a dog, because that dog would hate coons with every inch of his body for the rest of his life. Have you noticed that when you see a coyote in an aggressive state like that, young dog, maybe they get into it, and obviously the dog is probably going to win the war, but maybe get latched on his ear or something along those lines. Does that make him a better dog?
I would say when I'm training a dog, and again, this is just how I've done it in my personal preference, but I'll take a young dog out in the fall when coyotes aren't aggressive, and they're going to. My dog can chase the coyote. The coyote's not going to fight the dog. It gives that young dog a lot of confidence. The first couple coyotes I shoot, I hope to shoot them dead. Mm-hmm. And I'm running. If I have a young dog, hopefully I'm hunting him with an older, experienced dog who's going to run out there and start tearing on that dead coyote, just to kind of solidify with that young dog what we're there to do and what's going to happen, without putting him in any situation that is going to kind of be at all of a step back. Mm-hmm. It can be a big problem. If you take a young dog out that doesn't have much experience and you send him out to a pair of coyotes and they kick his butt, mm-hmm. then that dog's going to be a lot more hesitant to go racing out there and engage the coyote. So I would say for a young dog, I'm very, very careful to put them in situations that they're going to succeed. That's going to be a fairly good experience for them. Once the dog starts to get some confidence and starts to get a little bit older, he's going to get in plenty of fights with coyotes. I mean, when my dog is if I wound a coyote and he's running it down and catching it, it's not too uncommon for him to get bit. Even when we're decoying, there's been times where I've had a pair of coyotes just come rolling him up and getting a big old fight, and he just has the experience that now if he's going to get bit, if he's going to get in a fight with a coyote, he's not going to lose his confidence.
Next on your list is it needs to be that you've got a dog that'll start bringing those hogs in closer.
Yeah, there you go.
When you do that, when you can bring in a herd of about 50 or 60,
yeah,
and get them to stand close to the tannerite so that we can shoot, then then you have hit a gold mine.
Telling you,
Seth, thank you, brother. What an interesting sport. That sounds like it's all. Now, when you get at what point? When you get that coyote coming in, at what point are you really comfortable? 200 yards or less, or is it 300 yards?
Oh man, I've had the benefit of a dog during the springtime denning season is if I'm calling a coyote in the fall, or I don't have a dog at all at any time, and I'm sitting there and I'm calling, that coyote's approaching and they're looking for what's making that noise, and they're not quite sure what to expect. Coyotes are very, very smart, very, very wary. And so that coyote's coming in, and until he sees something, he's going to be pretty hesitant. He's going to try to get downwind. He's going to try to investigate it before he fully commits. But as soon as the coyote sees that dog, and if they're going to decoy, they throw caution to the wind. I've been sitting in the bush before and had coyotes running circles around me at 25, 30 yards chasing my dog, just not trying to smell me, not looking for anything besides that dog. It almost turns them dumb.
Wow.
And so that's
it's like a 15-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl.
Yes,
you just get
exactly.
stupid.
And so, what if I'm decoying coyotes, I do it because I just love watching my my dog and work these coyotes, then I'm in no rush to shoot. I'll wait until they're good and close. I'll wait until I've had a good show. I'll try to do it. I'll try to let them decoy and work the dog so long that they start to leave, and then I'll finally shoot them.
Seth, thank you.
With the dog, they'll come.
I hate that we've run out of time, but
you bet.
This is awesome. Seth Simpson, decoy dogs, hunting coyotes out in Idaho. That's something that, we're going to continue to watch as this develops on television, and hopefully maybe try to bring some of that into the state of Louisiana. That'd be awesome.
Heck yeah.
East Texas, right here in this area.
These rednecks down here love that.
Seth, thank you, brother. We appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, guys. Have a
You
great
betcha.
day.
Thank you.
Hook it up and track it down. We're going to close this thing down here in a minute, 11:30. The Tiger.
Cotton on the roadside, cotton in the ditch. We all picked the cotton, but we never got rich. Daddy was a
The Hook It Up and Tracking Down Show thanks you for tuning us in today. This segment presented by Nichols Department Stores, Sproul Lures, K2 Coolers, and Gamakatsu Hooks. The hooks that put fish in the boat and anglers in the winner's circle. One more time, here's Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles, and the man who has earned his reputation and nickname, the Dink Master, Steve Graff.
Here's your Daiwa Rods and Reels best times to fish. This weekend is rated as poor on Friday and Saturday and fair on Sunday. Temperatures will range in the mid-70s from the highs with the morning lows in the mid-50s. The rain will continue in the Arklatex region with a 50% chance of rain on Friday and Saturday and 60 on Sunday. We'll be under a half moon this weekend. Best times to fish, early mornings. Friday, 4:51 to 7:51 a.m. Sunrise will be 6:46, sunset 6:05. Saturday, 5:46 to 8:46 a.m. Sunrise 6:44, sunset 6:06. Sunday, 6:44 to 9:44 a.m. Sunrise will be 6:43, sunset 6:07. This has been your Daiwa Rods and Reels best times to fish.
Jeff Pate says, I bet y'all have had a good show today with all these blasted warnings.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, when
you can't control.
When you got bad weather like this, I mean, that is an obligation that we have as a radio station to provide all that information. Right. And there has been some water hit the ground. Johnny said they had a 4.5-inch rain yesterday at Lake Fork. There's been predictions that we were going to see between 4 to 5 inches of rain around here locally. So that's one of the things that's really going to change the dynamics of fishing over the next week or so. Is rising water and fish getting shallow all at the same time. I mean, how shallow are they going to get? Are they going to stay where they were, just a little bit deeper?
And of course, water temperature dictates a lot of that.
What are you talking about? One thing that we do want to remind you about is next Thursday. We talked about this earlier in the show. Next Thursday, Summer Grove Baptist Church. Next Thursday night, it's the Sportsman's Night Out. Guest speaker Brody Swisher is coming in, and they've got a ton of door prizes that they'll be giving away. I want to say tickets are $12, and you can get those tonight at the church, or you can go anytime during the regular business hours all this week at the church's office. But tonight in the lobby after church, and then again Sunday in the lobby after church. One thing you got to remember, though, all the tickets have you can't get a ticket after Sunday. So get that taken care of, and then next Thursday night we'll hope to get to see you there for that. And one of the door prizes is that guided fishing trip with Johnny Geis.
Exactly. This week's hot product is the V&M J-Bug. It's a soft plastic lure. If you don't have any of these, you need to get some. I know Bayou Outdoor Supercenter carries them. Kurt Carver, Toledo Tackle carries them. John Abraham, Cypress Knee, they all carry this particular product. You know, when you look at a soft plastic, guys, I think we'll all agree, you look for something that's versatile. Something you can throw as a trailer, a jig trailer, chatterbait trailer, fish naked.
Yeah.
Carolina rig.
Right.
This is the bait. This bait here can do all those things, and it's very effective. Matter of fact, Kevin Lazione actually won the Rayburn tournament with the V&M J-Bug.
Really?
Yep. That was his primary bait. He had it on both a jig, as a trailer, and as a Carolina rig. And so if you don't have any, check them out. They're very versatile. It's a compact type bait, and they work great. And
you know, one of the things you and I noticed on Lake Fork, we were fishing a tournament over there, and we started off with the wild thing.
The swamp hog.
Swamp hog.
Yeah.
And as the day progressed, sun got up a little bit hotter, water temperature warmed up a little bit. They wanted something a little bit less aggressive, something smaller. And
what did we switch to?
We switched to the J-Bug. And I mean, they would eat that sucker up.
They ate it.
And as small as that lure is, you would think, well, you know, it's not going to be big enough to do the trick.
But we had some fish in the bushes.
Dude.
We didn't get out.
So that's something you definitely want to work into your tackle box.
Great product. Highly recommend it. If you're not already throwing, a lot of the guys around here, I'm sure, are throwing it, but if you're not familiar with it, get familiar with it. It's a great product.
Okay, Mike, you made a big announcement a little bit earlier in the show that some guys who might have been listening to thunderstorm warnings missed out on. Mike has announced the championship of the Boss tournament is going to be obviously on Toledo Bend, and we got a weigh-in site now.
Yes, we do. It's going to be Cypress Bend below the bridge. That's due to availability. It's the only place that we could get permitted to have our tournament. So it will be there. Go ahead, guys. Don't wait too long to try to get you a room down there. A lot of facilities up and down Pendleton Bridge, but they'll run out pretty quick. Sammy Gill and all the other marinas that I called were already booked. As soon as we elected to go to Toledo Bend, I started looking, and it came down to Cypress Bend. Great place to have a tournament, just a few miles further to drive. I also want to announce that I think it's March the 22nd. I'm going to look this up before I get too far into this. March 22nd will be the first Cash Splash. That's our Thursday night tournament out on Cross Lake. It'll start March 22nd, be out there about 4 o'clock. We'll start taking entries, I think, at 4:15. And everybody has to sign up and fill out an entry form the first tournament. You'll maintain the same number in this event all year long.
Okay, now
so
you start fishing. You start fishing at 5?
5:15.
5:15. Okay, so 4 you're there. 4:15 you start taking entries. 5:15 you can start
leave
fishing.
And go out. You can leave after you go out and register, but you can't make cast till 5:15.
Can I go ahead and fish all day and then decide whether or not I want to come fish the tournament?
You cannot be on the lake that day before the tournament. Hey, that happens.
It does happen.
People that don't know that much about it, haven't read the rules, go out, fish that day, catch a few fish, come in and get in line to want to fish the tournament that evening. So you can't do that. We'll have 8 tournaments. Will end by the end of June, providing we don't have a cancellation like we did last year. We had high water that shut the lake down. We had to move one into the first Thursday in July. But hopefully be over by the end of June. Championship will be the last Saturday in September. Be out at the American Legion. It will be a day event. Although this is a nighttime evening tournament, and we'll be fishing. Y'all will be fishing for a Triton boat.
Hey.
Can't beat that.
Where else in the world for $55 entry fee can you go fish for a boat?
Exactly.
Is that $55 every tournament?
Yes, it's $50. $50 goes to the tournament. $5 goes to polygraph. It used to be we didn't polygraph out there in the evening tournaments, and just for the sake of trying to keep everything on the up and up, and the anglers being satisfied that everything was on the up and up.
Right.
We started bringing somebody in to do that, and we do it every Thursday.
Now, did you have to? Is it going to be this year that it is every other Thursday? Because on occasion you've had to kind of move one or two around because of other conflicts.
Well, no, we're every other Thursday.
Okay.
The TNT is every other Thursday, so we
Okay.
alternate. With,
So a fella, if he was fishing both of those, he could fish a Thursday night tournament the whole summer long.
oh, absolutely. Well, yeah, through the end of June. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
If you're that into fishing at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And our next boss tournament is March 3rd. Toledo
March
Bend.
3rd will be on Toledo Bend. The weigh-in site will be Converse. There'll obviously going to be enough water to launch out of Converse by then, and but that's where the weigh-in will be a trailer tournament, and so come on down and jump in.
Take us home, Stevie.
All right, here's this week's final word. With all the rain we have received this week, it's just another reminder how important good rain gear is. Nothing is worse this time of year when you're on the water or out in the woods getting wet and cold. Now, you can spend and waste a lot of money on average to cheap rain gear, but serious outdoorsmen understand the importance of staying warm and dry in order to avoid hypothermia. So don't pinch pennies. Make the investment in high-quality rain gear to ensure that you stay warm, dry, and safe. For Mike Eccles, Gary McCoy, Jay Wiley, yours truly, Steve Graff. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for more Hooking Up and Tracking Down here on 1130 The Tiger.